Hey Kevin, welcome to the MasterCard Cup. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that play on through. We'll put you back in your dress position and we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you back here in your dress position, let's take a look at your posture. Your spine's relatively pretty straight and on a slight tilt. Legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. Arms hang down off your tilted spine and the club works out to the golf ball. So achieving some pretty decent posture here in association with good balance. Let's go ahead and also take a look at your alignment here. We can see that your feet are running in this direction. Carry that out towards the intended target. Basically, your club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet, and parallel lines on camera will have an appearance to converge. And under that philosophy, we can see that you're set up pretty much right down the center of the fairway, so that looks great. Let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison here between you and Jordan Spieth. Now we've got some color-coded lines on the screen just to use as a visual reference as it pertains to swing plane. We can see with Jordan Spieth, we're simply going to initiate the takeaway by creating good shoulder rotation, bring the arms and hands back as well as the club. We want to watch the club come back directly along the red line on plane. Also in the early stages of the golf swing, we want to incorporate some good wrist hinge into play, whereby we're going to transition the club currently from being below and in front of our hands to getting that club head above and behind our hands. At this point in time, we're going to work the golf club from red up towards the blue-yellow V zone, and when we finally set the club at the top of the backswing, we want to have the left arm of the club either situated on the yellow line, anywhere in between the blue-yellow V zone, or physically up on blue. We also want to create full shoulder rotation, and we want to do this about a very stable right leg while we maintain our posture axis that we achieved at address with our spine. From here, as we watch you initiate your takeaway here, draw your hands back a little bit to the outside there with the golf club. Some of that has to do with the fact that if we go back down to your dress position, I do want to point out the fact that you are set up open with your upper body. That just means that right now I can see your left arm underneath your right arm. I should not be able to see your left arm underneath your left arm at address. That tells us if we lay an alignment tool across your forearms are going way left of where your feet were going, as are your shoulders. So unfortunately, you're stacking your upper body, your shoulders and arms, going way left of where your feet are running in this direction here. Okay? Your feet, your knees, your hips, your forearms and your shoulders should all be running parallel left of the target, and right now they're not. So because your shoulders and arms are somewhat open at address, that's causing the golf club to move outside of your swing plane. At this point in time, you actually continue to take your hands and arms further outside, almost like you're picking the club up. We see you get some wrist hinge into place, so the club head's above your hands, but it's not behind. So we're working your arms and the club back into a very steep position. At this point in time, the club head has now moved behind your hand, so that's fine. But at the end of the day, we're working our arms to a very, very steep position. And we can see here that by the time you get to the top of your backswing, your left arm is nowhere near being in that blue-yellow V zone that we see with Jordan Spieth. And as well, your left arm is covering your face. So this is going to have a major influence on your downswing. In order for you to get this club back on plane, you'd have to create a major rerouting move back to the inside, like a Jim Furyk or like a Freddie Couples. So with the left side of the screen, we simply want to move our weight from our right foot to our left. We want to fire our knees and our hips laterally to the target. We want to unwind our core and fire the hands. And we want to bring the golf club from wherever we set it within the blue-yellow V zone, hopefully, and bring that golf club back down onto red. And that's exactly what we see here with Jordan Spieth, with the golf club returning back to being on plane. The other thing we want to pay attention to here is the relationship between the lead forearm and the golf club. I refer to this as the backwards check mark. It simply means the club head right now is remaining above and behind our hands coming into the hitting zone. So this is what's going to allow us to create a lot of power in our golf swing. Let alone, he's also going to have the ability to hit the ball straight because the club has returned back to plane, which is a main criteria in producing straight golf shots. So with you, let's see what you do with your transition. You've got to obviously drop the hands and arms way back to the inside to get this club back to the blue-yellow V zone, and then let alone to red. Unfortunately, we see your hands come over the top, and you're swinging back into the ball right from this position. Right here, your right elbow's kicking in. The club's falling behind your hands, so that's good, but your hands are staying way out in front of you. So that's going to have a major influence on where the golf club goes. So what I can do here is I go ahead and track your club head. Let's just go ahead and mark your club head here. We can clearly see that the club is not returning back to plane. As we see with Jordan Spieth, his golf club has returned to plane, and then as it continues to come in the golf ball, simply tracks into the golf ball directly from this red line. And as I stipulated earlier, this is what produces straight golf shots in accordance to our alignment, lastly assuming that the club face squares up via having a good grip. So there's three things we need if we want to be consistent and we want to hit straight golf shots. Our aim has to run parallel left of our target, our club face. The club has to return back onto plane, the red line, and then the club face has to square up. In your case, we can see your alignment was pretty good with your feet. Shoulders and arms were wide open. You then bring the golf club back, basically picking it up, getting super steep, and then obviously when you start your downswing, that's causing you to come into the golf ball very steep as well. So as we go ahead and continue to track your club head coming in the ball, we're just going to watch the club move further and further out in front of you. So we'll go to the next frame. So clearly if we just sort of connect the dots here, we can get a pretty good visual sense as to just how steep and over the top that club approached the ball. Okay, so again with Jordan, club returned back to plane, comes into the ball from the red line. Yours is not. So knowing that the descending planes here are vastly different, we can now go ahead and take a look at the path of the club. We can see with Jordan, his club is inside the ball, expanding out to make contact, moving through in a nice natural subtle arc. So again, if that club face squares up, he's going to hit the ball straight in accordance to his alignment. With you, your club approached the ball from outside, striking the ball, and then moving aggressively to the inside. So look at where that club is traveling. So very simply put, if you were to square the club face up to that path, you would hit the ball solid, but you're going to pull the ball way left. If you happen to release the club too much relative to the path, not only will you pull the ball, but you'll hit some form of a pull draw or pull hook, and the ball's going way too far left on you. If you happen to leave the club face a little bit open to the path, the nice thing is here is you can block the ball out in this direction a little bit, then impart some left to right spin, and probably hit a pretty aggressive fade that will find the intended target. If you leave the club face too open, incredibly you can block the ball even further right, even though we're swinging way left, and at that point in time the club face was massively open, and we're going to hit pretty severe block slices. So the end result of the golf shot is dictated based on the timing of the club face. Because the club is attacking the ball from the outside, striking the ball and moving to the inside, if we square the face up to the path, that ball's going to travel down red. If we over-release the club at the same path, it's following the smaller red arrows. If we leave the club face massively open to the path, it'll follow blue. And if we time it all right, we'll get some sort of golf shot that resembles yellow and will find the intended target. As you carry through, I just want to look at your footwork here, see if you get up onto your right toe, carry yourself through to finish. So not too bad there. See with Jordan here, as he comes through, he gets fully up onto his right toe. So I'd like to see a little bit more of that footwork from you. But you create enough footwork that at least you're getting through to a good finishing position. Overall, you got some really nice athletic qualities with your golf swing. I love how your hands work. I mean, your hands come back, although you do pick them straight up, but you fire them through great. You get some coil, so you turn your shoulders and you uncoil. You've got decent enough footwork that carries you through to a finish, so that's great. Your alignment's fine with your feet. You're just set up a little too open with your shoulders and arms at address. But the biggest thing is, very simply put, when we draw this golf club back, all you really want to do here is you want to swing your hands, arms, and club head way more inside and around your body instead of picking the club up. As soon as you swing your hands, arms, and club way more inside, what will happen is you'll get your arms set in a much shallower position. Again, Review the swing analysis again, but you want your left arm down on that yellow line. So we want to shallow out your arms a ton here. As soon as you do that, as soon as you make this backswing, there's a domino effect to the downswing, and you'll come way less over the top. Now, how much less, whether it's 10% or 90%, would be yet to be seen. But if you get yourself in a shallower position, you'll guaranteed come into the ball better. At that point in time, we can see how much more over the top you're still coming, and then go ahead and work on trying to get that golf club on a proper plane coming into the ball, because at the end of the day, that is the most important part of a golf swing. It's that pre-impact position I showed you with the backwards check mark, where the club head is returning back onto that red line early and approaching the ball from on plane. Okay? So you're over the top move here, hands come over the top, we're coming in super steep, the club's getting stuck way outside the ball. At that point in time, we can go ahead and check out the club face and see what your club face actually did. So it looks like, I mean, we can clearly see that the golf ball, based on where it left, is right there. It's right at the tip of the arrow there. So you are hitting the golf ball to the left, but like I say, we don't really know what it's doing unless we obviously are there watching your golf shot. But obviously if the club face over releases, it's going way too far left. Under releases, it's going too far right. But if you time it okay, you'll hit that shot with a nice solid fade or slice that will find the intended target, as I printed out with that yellow diagram. Okay, so again, athletic moves, really, really good. You got to match up the certain geometry with the swing to coincide with how athletic you're moving your hands and the rest of your body. Okay. Anyway, at any point in time you ever want to work on any of these aspects, I'm over at Glen Abbey in Oakville. I'd be happy to structure a little program for you. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments, all you guys are looking for a unique gift to provide your guests, feel free to reach out. Be happy to discuss my swing analysis services. Anyways, hope you had a fabulous day, and hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video. Take care.